Hey everyone, Omar here. Welcome back to the channel and to this filler episode because I have yet to complete the next episode. So we're just gonna put this together. So for this filler episode, it's gonna be some good old-fashioned overconsumption and consumerism, and I'm gonna show you guys what I use when it comes to like making my videography life better on the go. I'm not gonna talk about the expensive stuff like a NAS system and stuff. I don't think most people actually need that, but the day-to-day things, the things that make traveling and working a little easier, and that's pretty much it. First things first is this Slipdrive right here. It's called a Slipdrive. There are 1,000 knockoff brands there. It doesn't actually matter which brand you get because none of them are innovative. Some of them have 2 slots, which I think are a little too much. But the idea is that, as you all know, a lot of us work off external hard drives, whether it's for photo galleries or predominantly video projects. I like to keep my active ones backed up and then have a working drive with me. If you have those Samsung T7 or T5 drives or something similar, this is kind of what you're going to want to have. Stick it onto your laptop like anything else. You can remove it easily later. You can clean it with some alcohol wipes, no problem. But you toss it in, and instead of having the hard drive dangle off on the side or you needing to like find the spot to get it to work, you can just, oh, here's my YouTube drive right here. Plug it in, have it on the back of your laptop, and just plug it into the USB port, and you're good to go. Now everything is fully accessible. I don't have this dangling off to the side. Like, it's pretty easy to walk around, to actually sit on my lap or in the car or anywhere else where you may be without risking a disconnect issue, which is super annoying because depending on the software you use, reconnecting all the files after it disconnects, if you haven't already saved, just becomes kind of a headache. Don't do that. This is a relatively inexpensive way. Also, shout out to the Think Tank bags, but we're not talking about that. Relatively inexpensive way to keep your hard drives that you're working on just in place, like they have a home on your laptop. So that's the first one. Second product here is this PGYTech, and I can't believe they don't have like any competitors for this. It's been out for like a year and it's still just them doing this. So obviously we travel with a lot of storage, which is worth $4 billion nowadays. Here are my SD cards and micro SDs, and here are my CF Express cards because I shoot on Fujifilm X-H2S and all the Canon R5Cs and everything. And that's great. First off, the fact that you can put mixed media here. It's got like one of those little SIM card poppy things that occasionally comes handy before you lose it. But the headline feature of this one that made it something I actually wanted to pick up is this right here. As you'll notice, it's got a built-in cable. Why would a media storage device have a built-in cable? Well, that's because it has a built-in card reader, finally. Also kind of nifty, like if you're working on SD cards and you plug it into your laptop this way down, I'm just gonna hold it up for you. This is the dominant position then. So the SD card is faced side up. Same thing with CF Express cards. If you're working with CF Express cards, unloading them and putting them in, then this becomes right side up. Someone who actually shoots and edits video and unloads media quite a bit, they're the ones who had a say in the design for this, because I could see a ton of other brands just keeping them all in one direction and then us constantly doing the USB thing where we stick it in the wrong way, then have to flip it around. But it's a UHS 2 card reader. It comes with their own little SD card adapter for the micro SD cards. Come on, Canon, focus. There we go. So this comes with it, and it's a UHS 2 adapter too. So if you have the newer and faster cards, like this one right here is the 512 gig or the terabyte models that you have, they will offload more quickly than just sticking it in that old one that came with like your kit from 10 years ago. I just also like the fact that it's all encompassing. I do wish it had a separate USB port there just in case something happens to this cable, but it's been a year and nothing has, and this is a really thick cable, so I feel like I've gotten my money's worth out of it at this point. It also carries an IP54 weather resistance rating, which is pretty cool. That means that if I'm working right now, suddenly there's a downpour, as long as this is closed, everything inside should be good. Do not throw it into the water. Don't know why you would ever do that. You will never be editing in a swimming pool or anything. Don't be that person. But from a security standpoint, and again, something that just made my life easier by having one encompassing device for all my mixed media and a card reader built in, this is a great one. Don't have to remember to bring anything else. Don't even have to remember cables, as long as this thing's with me. And also it plugs into your phone. So if you want to offload to your phone quickly, pop it in, go to files, drag and drop whatever it is that you need. This next one also aimed at laptop editors. If you have a MacBook, which I recently converted to the cult of Mac with a M5 Max, and honestly, Windows, I don't think you guys are ever going to win me back, but that's a separate thing. So if you have, this is for an upcoming video, if you have an iPad, you can use it as a monitor on the go, which is really handy. But if you have a 2-monitor setup at home, it still feels like a limitation sometimes, especially if you're traveling to hotel rooms or different workspaces and whatnot. And that's where this comes in place. This one's about a year old, but I'm gonna link to a couple of monitors that are a little more modern. Some of them have AirPlay built into it as well. And basically, it's just a portable monitor. Definitely gonna look pretty dark here. I'm gonna see if I can select it and brighten it up a little bit for you to see what's there. I like putting my different files when editing videos, so I can just have a dedicated monitor to browse through all the files, or maybe for text or anything else. And here I've just got the Capture One stuff, the images I'm editing and deciding what I want to include in the upcoming video. Very inexpensive, and it has a Thunderbolt port, so you don't have to power it with anything externally. If you have an older laptop that doesn't have a Thunderbolt port, then you are going to have to find, it does come with a separate power supply and stuff, but I think at that point it becomes kind of annoying. So just keep that in mind. This one was about $100 maybe 2 years ago. It's probably dirt cheap now, but like I said, I'll put a couple of more models that are more modern that I've been eyeing myself in the comments below with the same feature set and likely better. Also, if you're willing to spend a little coin, they do have color accurate ones that are like $300 or $400, which I think are really impressive. I personally don't have any experience with them, but they all have pretty good ratings. So if you're a colorist and you're constantly dragging the software back to your main monitor because that's the most color accurate one, you can just use those, and that sounds like a great thing to me personally. So this next one is actually this little thing on the back of my phone right here. This is a Plaud Note Pro. And if you want to record on your phone, like a phone call or something, all you have to do is this. This is extremely handy for client work. When you're talking to clients, when it's a long conversation, because you can offload it into the app. And not only do you have the base recording, but it also summarizes everything. It gives you notes. You can ask the Plaud AI, chatbot, whatever you want to call it, questions about the interview. And it's just a really good thing to have when you're on the go. That does not mean you should be only passively listening to your client. Absolutely not, because again, these are just computers, AI tools. You are still responsible for everything. But if you want to talk about deliverables or go back in the future and say, hey, we talk about delivering X number of assets, you're asking for a couple more things, it's going to cost a little more money, anything along those lines, this is a great tool to have. You can also use it to record conversations in person. I don't really use it too much for that. By the time we meet in person, we've already decided on what's going to end up happening. I've had the original Plaud and the Plaud Note Pin for ages, but this Plaud Note Pro specifically has the best audio quality, and this is the one that I recommend among all the other models that are out there right now. You can transcribe about 300 minutes for free, I believe. I don't know if that's limited for the first year or so, but I personally pay for the mid-tier plan just because, it can map the entire conversation out. I can isolate from a 2-hour phone call what the deliverables are, what expectations are, what dates we were talking about for different checkpoints, if we have a work back schedule, things along those lines. Very, very, very handy to have for anyone who has clients, which is probably going to be the majority of people who are watching this video at this point. A little different than all the other stuff, but I wanted to bring it up because it is central to a lot of what I do nowadays. Now, the last thing is actually being used right now as part of my media kit. So I have 2 of these. Let me actually shoot a quick video so you see what I'm talking about. This is not just any Anker power supply, but it's the Anker Prime setup. This one in particular, that's my finger there. This one in particular has crazy power delivery charging. You can buy an optional base, which I recommend as well. It'll end up charging it 150 watt hours there, and you can do another 100 to 140 from the top as well to have it fully charged in 30 to 60 minutes. It's actually kind of ridiculous. And it powers all modern accessories. The one that you just saw is the one that I use for my mobile media kit if I'm ever shooting a YouTube video when I'm on the go. Light, camera, microphone. I don't like to travel with a lot of batteries, and this powers pretty much everything. I don't think there are too many consumer electronics nowadays that take over 140 watts through a power delivery connection. So if you do, you're out of luck there, but I don't. and it powers like even the cinema cameras and stuff if I wanted to. It's a really handy thing to have. In addition to that, you got a MacBook Pro, Neo, regular, whatever the case is. This extends the battery life quite a bit, and even though these have great battery life, if you have a bright screen and you're using some really in-depth tools like Magic Mask, or you have like Adobe Bridge running and you're running through like 600 photos on an automated workflow, that battery drains fast. Like, I've killed this battery. This is the M5 Max, and I have definitely gotten as little as like 2 hours of power out of this because I was doing extremely processor heavy tasks in DaVinci Resolve. On memory, I think I was actually removing a stain from someone's shirt throughout an entire talking head video. And so it did it flawlessly, but it ate a lot of battery. It went from like 100% to like 40% by the time I was done there. So it absolutely helps to have something that reliable. I do keep this one. It can power everything, but I have one with my media kit, and I have one that I use just for the laptop because especially during the nicer seasons, I just like working outside whenever it's possible. So that's pretty much it. Just a couple of things that make my life easier as a video professional, and I thought maybe you just might want to see that workflow as well. With that being said, back to the corporate job, which, you know, I think the dream for all of us is to kind of leave that behind, and hopefully that'll be soon for me. Yeah, thanks for stopping by, and as always, I'll catch you at the next one. See ya.